Grice and Owen Kelly go off the front row. The grid for this set of combined times from practice 1 and 2 yesterday. A crash early in qualifying today meant no one was able to get the time. Some names to pick out. Jet Johnson will be fast from 12th. Cody Bircher, young bloke from New South Wales, good. John McCorkindale in your livery on the dot before you. Dig Carr will be one to watch. And Steve Coulter going off the back of the field. That lap, though, there was some moments there that he put some oversteer into it, but there were some where he stopped talking, and I think he was slightly worried that he may have gone a little bit too far. But brilliant stuff from Nathan Hearn. Geez, a character too. Feels like it's got 1,000 horsepower, he says.
Totally. He'll start from position 5. He was scheduled to start from 2, but was given a 3-place grid penalty for failing to observe the red flags when they came out this morning. We didn't get a lap set in qualifying, so as Krause said, combined times in practice gives Ben Grice pole position, his first in Turtle Wax Trans Am. He's got 500 large in the back pocket now as well for the rest of the season, and he will lead with Owen Kelly on the front row. Engine change to the Grice car overnight. The team have been up till 3 o'clock this morning changing that, and they are ready to go flat out. This is Turtle Wax Trans Am at the island.
He's been looking for a change of luck, Ben Grice. It's been a challenging start to his season. Nathan Hearn already aggressive. Valvoline car going down the inside at turn 1. He'll go wheel to wheel with Cole Girton. Nick Carroll's in the mix as well in the Dodge. And Hearn already gets 2 spots back of the ones he lost in qualifying with that penalty. But it's Ben Grice who'll lead the field down past Bass Strait for the first time, with Owen Kelly in second.
Now remember, they haven't seen the track really since yesterday afternoon, with just an out lap and half a qualifying lap earlier today. And for some drivers who had a really tough day in practice, this is really going to be a big test. A lot of them said if we can get through turns 1, 2 and 3, we're going to be fine in this one. Easier said than done in this category.
Always. Nash Morris, super cheap auto car, and great to see so many people here in the Super Cheap Auto Clubhouse in pit lane. Literally the best seat in the joint in pit lane. It is set up in a pit lane garage next to TCR Australia. And Nash representing that brand really well. Cole Girton looking up the inside of the 45 there, 48 I should say, of Nick Carroll, young Victorian driver who lives on this side of Melbourne. So this is very much a local racetrack for him. Grice with the lead, nice and early. Owen Kelly under pressure from Nathan Hearn. Carroll next, big dive bomb further back. Wow, that's large.
Stephen Thornborough, the Sydney Property Care entry, car 116, is going to be hung out to dry here through the final turn, but a fairly clean lap to start in Turtle Wax Trans Am competition. It's going to be Grice that leads us through. Thornborough on the back here of Dalton Ellery, had his best run in his short career. Someone's out on the gravel.
No, they're all out in the gravel.
Yeah, better still. And that scattered the field down the Gardner Straight at the end of lap number 1.
Jet Johnson's in this mix as well in car 117. That's the black with the yellow fluoro stripes. Just going around the outside of Dalton Ellery. Couldn't quite get the spot done, so the Shelgrave car holds on.
You can hear those Hoosier Crossply tyres really working. They're screaming for mercy on lap number 2. Here as we look at Sean Richardson running down the field in position 18 behind Craig Scatella and heading down towards the hairpin. We pick up the leaders. A lick of flame from Grice. Here comes Hearn. Looking to move on Kelly. Gets into Kelly. So moves the 73 Fujitsu entry out the way and goes back 2 spots. I don't think this one's done with.
Oh, it's a taste of the good old boys that Owen Kelly was racing with when he spent some time in the States in NASCAR. Properly helped out of the way.
Mark Crutcher off the track down at turn number 4, so the 4 will drop outside the top 20 now and returns to the course. Waved yellows at Siberia, and here comes the heat from the 73, one would think, of Owen Kelly just behind. Do you want to be Nick Carroll in this situation? He's the meat in the sandwich.
Oh, I kind of do, actually. I think he's in a really good position to get right in this, and he's fighting with some big names, Nick. This is going to be really good for him, and got great drive out of MG. Look at the front wheel work. It really is like a sprint car and gives Nathan Hearn a real whack going through 11. These cars dancing around. They're so good to watch at fast, high-speed circuits like Phillip Island. It's such a good category. Ben Grice has cleared out, by the way. He has disappeared up the road. He's just pumped out a lap record on lap 2. He's beaten Aaron Seaton's old benchmark by quite a margin. His lead is 3.4 seconds, but forget about that. Nick Carroll's trying to send it around the outside of Nathan Hearn, the champ, at turn 1.
Cool racing, and still 11 laps to go. These guys treat it like it's a 2-lap dash for cash. as they come out of Southern Loop and along the Bass Strait. So Grice, he'll be rubbing his hands together right now. 3.4 seconds. He'll look up the mirror and go, I'm out of here.
That's exactly what Ben Grice would say, knowing young Benjamin. Very nice drive from him so far, and aided by the fact that there's now a squabble of 6 or 7 cars fighting it out over the minors. Owen Kelly doesn't care about Nick Carroll. He wants to get to the back of Nathan Hearn. A bit of return of serve from that hip and shoulder that he got at Honda a couple of laps ago. Rusty.
Krause, a little bit of an update from young Ryan Jones, who looks after some comms and PR for Brett Holdsworth. He tells me that Holdsworth's been chasing a lack of grip so far this weekend. They have thrown a new steering rack at that car and down in 9th at the moment.
Quite a few drivers, thanks Rusty, quite a few drivers have done that overnight. Complained of steering dramas yesterday during practice. We did know about the 20 car of Adam Hargraves, who hit the wall really hard during qualifying. They'll be back out for race number 2, considering the amount of damage. I mean, there's pieces down there. There's not a race car, there's pieces of a race car down there. They are adamant they'll get that car fixed for race number 2 tomorrow, as Carroll looks to make the move, but the door's shut before it really even opened from your defending Turtle Wax Trans Am champion, Nathan Hearn. As they complete another lap, the gap stays first to second at 3 seconds. We start lap 4.
It's no wonder they're breaking steering racks. They're using them more than any other category at Phillip Island. Most of it with opposite lock. I thought Nathan Hearn was putting on a show in his track guide. No, that's just how you drive these cars quickly here. Sliding around, sliding out of a corner, oversteer, understeer, all the steers. And this is a terrific battle. Nash Morris has now got to the back of it. Brett Holdsworth is there, and Dalton Ellery catching on to the back. And one of the big movers is John McCorkindale. Dial before you dig car. He's up plenty of spots up into 13th place.
In car with the flash, Nash Morris, as he works his way down to the hairpin. He's joined this group of cars for about 5th position into the hairpin. As he locks horns, we'll go to pit lane. Cruz?
I'm standing down in the Jet Johnson entry garage, and let me tell you, the intensity out on track is exactly the same right here in the garage. Fabian Coulthard's watching on, Stephen Johnson's watching his son on, but Bree, as a mother, watching your son racing, is it actually any different to watch when you used to watch Steve?
Yeah, oh my God, if you could feel my heart right now, it's beating 1,000,000 miles an hour. I can't even talk, I'm shaking. It's, yeah, very different when it's your child out there.
I don't know what to say, Steve. I know he's probably here watching on, but it's actually really good to see the family supporting.
Oh, it is, yeah, it's great. And look, at the end of the day, Jet's enjoying it, he's loving it, and as long as he comes off the track in one piece and the car's in one piece, and that's all we can ask for at the moment. So he's just having a ball.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Caruso. Great to see a new sponsor on the side of that car as well. All Properties Group, so a real estate firm in Queensland. Reed Johnson actually works for them, selling houses, but it's headed up by Chris Gilmore, who's a former Australian Formula 3 champion. So well done to Chris and the team at All Properties Group for getting on board and supporting Jet Johnson. He's a talent. We loved his work at round 1, didn't we? He started a long way back, but chipped away and got into the 10 and ultimately the top 5 by the end of the weekend. So promising stuff from the 3rd generation Johnson, and I'm sure Dick and Jill will be watching on back home in Queensland, their grandson going to work here at Phillip Island.
Just keeping the Johnson name going into the future. Gap is 3.3 seconds as you see it at the turn 4 hairpin. This time Carroll makes the move on the inside of the Valvoline number 1 and should just cover him off nicely. Oh no, here comes Hearn. He's on the way back and should repay it down at Siberia. Great battle here for 2nd and 3rd position. In fact, they're all starting to stack up right down to the bottom of the top 10. They bang door handles for a split second. You can't go side by side here. Someone has to give.
Well, they're going to try and argue otherwise, but ultimately they do settle in. The Dodge versus the Ford Mustang. See what happens when you take grip away from racing cars and they move around and do this kind of thing. What a show. Oh, Nick Carroll, that wasn't oversteer. That was locking the rear brakes, I think, on the run into MG. Everything crossed up in car 48, but he is driving out of his skin at the moment. He's 2nd. Ben Grice has cleared out in front. And this settles down a little bit now. Owen Kelly can start to look for some payback for that bump and run earlier from Nathan Hearn. They're 3rd and 4th. This has been an action-packed start to Turtle Wax Trans Am. Let's go back and have a look at the start. Eden Thornborough. It's already been very busy. This is from the back of Nash Morris's car. Bump, bump, and another one, and some wheel spin.
But there's some help shifting in the gear. That's Thornborough in the 116. There's Jet Johnson on the right-hand side. So he all scurried for position. So this is the first dust cloud that kicked up. There was another one in the background. Who was behind or wide there, Kralsey?
Dalton Ellery, that's who it was, who will team up with his brother and his dad at the High Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour, which is our next stop on the Speed Series Tour. Easter long weekend.
Don't think Owen Kelly's going to forget that in a hurry, nor will Marcus Ambrose, who's on the radio.
Correct.
To Owen Kelly. And that was Crutcher, exit stage left down at the turn 4 hairpin, 2 360s, and rejoined the racetrack down there. Carter before is up to 22nd position, while Thornborough's dropped down to 18th on our screens.
Whoop.
And that might be the reason why. Off at Siberia and gets away with it, just.
Timing. They almost, like they knew what you were about to say. Nice work, Nolts. Yeah, that's a big moment, isn't it? So we're on board with Nash Morris. Great battle pack on board. We'll do the lap. 4.46 Ks with the 67 car. Lukey Heights down to MG. H-Pattern gearbox. McLaren race engines built. Chev V8 in all of the cars, despite what body style they run. 525 horsepower. Hoosier tyre. Low grip, high horsepower. Quite lightweight car for what they are, about 1,200 kilos plus a little bit racing weight. They are a sensational package, very affordable, and they're a bit like a Formula Ford for touring cars though, because they move around so much. The car control required to get the most out of these cars, as we've seen so far today, is extreme. And that there, oversteer on the exit, beautifully caught by Nash Morris. The other thing with these cars, Nolts, is that they're very affordable. They only rev to 6,500 RPM. So, oh, Nick Carroll, no, what's going on? Such a good drive so far.
I was just about to say he's on target for his best ever finish. And looks like the 48 is limping, letting the field go by. Dropping outside the top 10. What a shame for Nick Carroll.
Oh, that's massively disappointing. I hope he can bring it home and grab some points and perhaps more importantly, a starting position for the next race.
Need to keep going here. You can't get any points if you DNF. Like we see a majority of our Speed Series categories. That's Brock Bowley, who's in the series, making his debut from the West. As far south as you can get in Western Australia to be here this weekend. They've got 2 cars. They'll run over in the Western Australian Series, and he's joined the championship now. He's wild and free again, allowed to travel the country.
Nick's dropped down to 11th place. So there's 6 laps to go, just a lot of racing. Hopefully he can bring it home. Nick spent the season in the Super 3 Series and was very competitive. Raced in front of that, and off the road goes Dalton Ellery. Oh, this could be a free kick that Nick Carroll needs to damage limitation, because Dalton is well and truly stuck. That's the exit of the Southern Loop, turn 2 here at Phillip Island. That's Bass Strait in the background. Next stop, Tasmania.
It's belly on the gravel. He's trying to rock it back and forth to get out of there, but I don't think he'll be able to do this. So we're halfway home during race number 1. So he was inside that top 10 with that battle pack of 6 or 7 cars. And looks like he might be stuck there. No word from Motorsport Australia race control. We stay green at the moment. Now, Hearn has time to catch Grice. Now he's been relieved. As I say, the safety car is now called. So given enough time for Dalton Ellery to fire that in the end, the safety car will have to come out. And now Grice, who had 2 seconds, has donuts back to the rest of the field. And at least calms the pack down for a few moments anyway. I was expecting this a lot earlier in the race. Rusty, we know how wild this category is.
Boys, the sound of the Grice car as it came past, I'm just making eyeball contact with Marcus Ambrose. I don't think he's convinced that is there an issue going on with that car there?
With Ben Grice, it just doesn't quite sound right. It looks like the motor's laying over a little bit. I know they did an engine change yesterday. I'm here supervising 11 GRM cars this weekend, so I'm too busy to look at too much apart from our own cars. But Nathan's Hearn, he's doing a great job in the Valvoline car here. he's starting to really peg in, Grice. So if we do get a restart here, I expect we've got something for Gricey, because it does sound like from up here that motor might be laying over.
If you like your NASCAR racing, you know how valuable spotters are. We are on the pit roof, and you literally run side to side here, don't you?
Well, it's actually the best spot to watch, because I can see the tight corner over here at MG. I can also see the high-speed corner coming onto the front straight. These cars are critical to ride height. If the front starts flapping up in the air, the driver can't turn. So we're fighting our cars this weekend, so I'm keeping a keen eye up here, watching the action.
Right, what's it been like running all these cars, mate, and lending that experience and, you know, trying to get it all on track and right?
Oh, it's been great. Look, I'm just faking it till I make it, just sort of overseeing the whole operation for GRM, just trying to help out where I can from a driver's perspective, talking to the drivers that are here this weekend and also the engineers that, you know, when we're talking between sections and so forth. So it's going really well for us so far, but I'm cheering on Owen Kelly, Lockie Dalton and Nathan Hearn out there right now.
There you go, guys. And he used the words fake it to make it. The two-time Supercars champion and who did some amazing things in NASCAR never does that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rusty. Thank you. And most excitingly of all, perhaps, is we'll get to see him race again, Matt, at the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour. He and George Medeke will drive a Ford Mustang, built and prepared by Gary Rogers Motorsport. It's not a comeback for Marcus, but it is something of a racing return for that one event. The Medeke family and the Ambroses are very close. George went and raced for Marcus in NASCAR in the junior categories on the road up to NASCAR for a couple of seasons. They had a lot of success. They're great mates. They've put together this Bathurst 6 Hour program. You will see that race live, ad break free and on demand here on Stan Sports on the Easter long weekend. 70 cars. The entry list drops next week, Nolts. This guy will be on it, Dalton Ellery, driving with his dad Steve and his brother Tristan. It's an incredible field. It's going to be a great race. Marcus Ambrose and George Medeke in a Mustang. That is going to be outstanding.
It's a case now of who's not in the 6 Hour.
Yes,
it's a star-studded field. It's just getting bigger and bigger every year. As good news, Dalton Ellery's been released from the gravel trap down there at turn number 1. So we'll keep an eye on the 03 of Ben Grice, the famous number that Father Allen raced in NASCAR in the days back at the World 600 in Charlotte. They did do that engine change last night. There was a little bit of apprehension before they went out because they haven't had a chance to even run this engine in with just the one lap out this morning. So we'll keep an eye on that as he keeps some heat in the Hoosier tyre. It's Grice, Hearn, Kelly, Brook, Girton. That's the top 5. Dalton will drop down the field now. Obviously brings Holdsworth, Morris, Bircher, McCorkindale, and Jet Johnson inside the top 10.
And just a little bit of detective work underway, and thanks to Matt McKeldin, who you and I know very well. He's raced in this category quite successfully for a long time. He thinks that Nick Carroll's issue could be stuck in third gear. It can be a weak point in these cars, and Matt pointed out that when the car locked over Lukey Heights, that would be the down change into third. So potentially that car locked in third gear. We'll see what happens on the restart, because when everyone else goes into top on the run down to turn 1, if he's stuck in third, he is going to get absolutely mobbed. So thanks to Matt for phoning in. Appreciate that. A guy who knows these cars. So that could be it for Nick Carroll. Frustratingly so, a young guy from Victoria who was so impressive there, his car 48, Dodge Challenger. Ben Grice leads, Hearn second, Owen Kelly next. We're hoping we can get this race back for a dash to the flag.
So going by, next time by, the safety car lights are going out. As Carroll seen outside the 10 in 13th position ahead of John Harris. Jackson Rice in the 37, Craig Scatella, Ethan Thornborough back up to 17th spot now ahead of Sean Richardson. John Hollinger in 19th, and Hugh McAllister completes the top 20. Another 2 races to come tomorrow, part of our Stan Sport coverage. We've got a busy night ahead of us. IndyCars tonight, Texas Motor Speedway. I'll boil the coffee, we'll be all right. We'll power through tomorrow.
Looking forward to the IndyCar race. Took fastest track in Australia here, fastest in the States for IndyCar racing in Texas Motor Speedway, the High Banks. Scott McLaughlin race tomorrow morning our time. You can see that live on Stan Sport as well. And at break free and on demand if you miss it tomorrow morning, if you happen to sleep in and then spend your afternoon on the couch watching the action from Phillip Island. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. So Dalton Ellery back in. This car being run by Berwick Linton's Bruce Linton BMW team that prepares a heap of cars in the 6 Hour. I know you're not a betting man, Nolts. Who's your cash on, though? Grice, Hearn or Kelly? Who do you think? Or Tim Brook back in fourth place.
I think he'd be the guy who bites right now. The seas will part going into turn number 1. Grice and Hearn, it's going to be a spicy run, isn't it, down into the first turn. The sweeper, the fastest point on the circuit, as the safety car pulls away and everybody's stacking up behind Ben Grice. Scored a pole position. He was fast yesterday, but an engine change overnight. They'll definitely be looking at the end of this race with 2 more still to come tomorrow. It will be 1 lap of Phillip Island, 4.4 Ks of pure madness to come from the front here. Grice, who will dictate the pace and take Nathan Hearn along for the ride. We go back to green flag racing, race 1 of the Turtle Wax Trans Ams here at the island.
Hold on. Nathan Hearn, good restart. Got a tow. A couple of Mustangs side by side. The run to turn 1. Can the champion go all the way around the outside? He cannot. Grice holds on. He's sideways. He's sliding around. He wants a win in this category. Really tough weekend at Simmons Plains. And Hearn trying to open the door with his bumper bar, but there's no room there. Now they'll go side by side on the run out of the Southern Loop. And Stoner Corner will be it. The champ goes through. Nathan Hearn grabs the lead on the final lap.
Is it over though? Kelly's on the outside. Grice pulling up sideways in the corner. Owen Kelly, if he can stay here, has the better run for Siberia. Just over half a lap remaining. Just behind is Tim Brook. Will he score a top 3 result? Kelly down the inside and takes 2nd position. Had to work for it. And now here comes Tim Brook to move up into 3rd position. Yeah,
Grice is getting his pockets picked here. I wonder if that theory from Marcus Ambrose, you heard him talking to Greg Rust, said the engine was laying over, didn't sound healthy. I wonder if there's something in that for Grice, because he's just got no fight.
Jackson Rice limping with damage as a tyre peeling off his number 37, while Nathan Hearn is leading us around to finish off this 1-lap dash. Won the series last year. He dominated when Aaron Seaton decided to park up his campaign. He carries a number 1. He moved to Gary Rogers Motorsport, and this is going to be victory number 10 as he pulls up alongside the wall to celebrate a 1-lap dash. Give it to Nathan Hearn here in race number 1 of Turtle Wax Trans Am.
Well, I'm entertained. I don't know about you. It was a great race.
How could you not be?
These things are sensational. Well done, Nathan Hearn. He's such a natural talent. And congrats to Gary Rogers and the team. Tim Brook got Owen Kelly.
Yeah.
He got him at the line.
0.03 of a second.
Wow. For a front row spot in race 2 tomorrow. Turtle Wax Trans Am turning it on at the island. They'll be back on the program tomorrow with 2 more races. So Grice held on to 4th in the end. We'll pick up a lot of the storylines as we go on, of course. Girton 5th, quiet run for him. Lockie Dalton, Holdsworth, Morris, Bircher and McCorkindale into the top 10 from 16th at the start. That's a good drive.
Incredible. Chris Pappas just outside the top 10 behind Jet Johnson. John Harris down to Hugh McAllister in 16th position. Jason Hassett on his return in 18th. Then Scatella, Richardson 22nd, Brock Bowley 23rd. Dalton Ellery finishing in the pits there after bringing out the safety car. And Nick Carroll with the work to do in race number 2. Here's the highlights though, and there's plenty to talk about from race number 1.
So we're just replaying the whole race,
Why
right?
not?
That's what's happening. Wild at the start. Hearn, this was key to his race win. Really aggressive. Got down the inside of Cole Girton at turn 1. Nick Carroll was next as well. So he went from 5th to 3rd, and it got him in behind Owen Kelly and Ben Grice, the early leader. This was loose on the outside. Dalton Ellery had a pretty spectacular day. Crutcher in the 4-car off at Honda. And this was Ethan Thornborough, wasn't it, who started down, worked his way up, and then dropped back again.
Got to 14th in the end, but he got himself out the gravel down there at Siberia. That's when Nick Carroll started to falter, and in the end would drop down to the tail of the field after running as high as 2nd. He was on target for his best result. And then Dalton Ellery would bring out the safety car for a couple of laps, so he retrieved the Chelgrave entry, and it was a 1-lap dash with Grice and Hearn to the finish line here. It looked very different next time by.
Didn't it just? Big commitment around the outside for Nathan Hearn, so it just got Gricey offline a little bit. It carried all the way through the Southern Loop, and Hearn got really good drive out of that long corner. It never seems to end. and was able to drive down the inside, and then that bit of debris on the outside didn't help. Bit of dirt on the road for Ben Grice. He finished 4th.
Great work, but it was a very, very close finish with Owen Kelly, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll take that. We thought we had a good car speed and bit upset with quali and not getting to maximise that. But yeah, good race there with the boys, and yeah, nearly got Owen there at the end. But yeah, looking forward to 2 more tomorrow. Bring it on.
Well done.
Thank you.
We'll wander around and have a quick word to Owen Kelly. I know that Dwayne Priest and his brother Christian were on the radio to him. We can't sneak through there, so we'll go around here. Excuse me, boys, just 1 second. I'll come and see you in a moment. Congratulations on the win. Hey, the boys were well done on P2 for a starter, but also is there a bit of ongoing stuff in relation to the bump and run early?
Well, yeah, you just don't mind the bump and run. I quite like it, but probably didn't expect it from a teammate. But that's all right. As long as he's happy with squaring the ledger, I'm all good.
P2 for Owen Kelly. I think we could see the oil coming out of the Grice car as we go to our race winner. Congratulations. Bit went on in that one.
Yeah, from start to finish, yeah, it's pretty hard. I was thinking mid-race there, it's like, this is the car we rolled out of the truck. I was just slipping everywhere and loose, and the oil slick every lap just started to get worse and worse, and windscreen was dirty. And I realised Grice was in trouble, so under safety car, all the bolts out of his quick change fell out. So, yeah, look, I knew we were in for a good shot. We drove from 5th. Unfortunately, got a penalty after qualifying. But, yeah, look, I mean, it's great to get a win for GRM Valvoline. Yeah, I'm stoked. It was good race.
I know some good action there in the Trico Trans Am Series here at the Island.